The theme of these meditations is you are that which you seek. What if we really believed that? Better yet, what if we really experienced that? I guess for that to be a reality, we would have to know what we seek. What is the core of what we seek? Is it peace, love, the divine? What is the core? So maybe we'll discover that during this meditation. So let's go ahead and begin. Make sure to turn off any extraneous devices you might have that might disturb you. And of course, we'll make sure our microphones stay on mute so not to disturb others. Hi, Jenny. Glad you could make it. We're just starting. Perfect timing. Okay, so let's close our eyes and get comfortable. Here we go. If the purpose of a meditation is to experience ourselves as our true nature, to settle into the core of our existence, to know ourselves as our core, or to simply recognize our true nature. If the purpose of a meditation is to recognize ourself as our true nature, then there wouldn't be any difference between what we do outside of a meditation and what we do in a meditation. For we are always this true nature. We are always ourself. When we meditate, we're not really seeking peace. But many times we do discover it. because the result of becoming more conscious of our true nature is peace. So we often experience peace in a meditation. But if we seek for peace in a meditation, in most instances, it'll inadvertently push the peace away. But if we rather seek for ourselves, then we may notice peace inadvertently arising due to it being a side effect of settling into who we are. And when we look for who we are, if we were to find if we were to look for who we are, would it be possible to look for it in the traditional way we would look for something? Much like the eyeball looking for itself. Would it be possible for the eyeball to look for itself in the traditional way it would look for something not itself? The eyeball is already itself. To do any looking at all would be taking a step away from itself, so to speak. So is true with ourself. If it were really ourself, then to do any looking for ourself would be taking a step away from ourself, so to speak. We are already ourself. which you seek. And the nature of what you seek is inadvertently peace. Love. Divine. This isn't something that's grasped conceptually, but rather the cessation from grasping conceptually. Or the feeling it in the heart. You are that. Notice any impulse to fix, change, or seek for anything to be any other way. Never to try to stop the impulse, but only to notice it. notice how many of these impulses, due to us following them so many times before, feel so personal, feel so much like myself. Me. And notice the tendency, whether it be in this moment or another moment throughout the day, to try to change something, think about something, or do something in order to get back to what's familiar, the sense of myself that I'm used to. A sense of myself that seems safe. A sense of myself that's known rather than unknown. This sense of a self that we're familiar with is usually comprised of particular thoughts and particular feelings. Something that we generally seek to get back to. For some of us, this could be a calm state that we seek to get back to, where our mind and emotions are settled. For some of us, this could be a heightened state, where we feel more comfortable in anxiety or stress. For some of us, it could be in the form of the mind figuring things out in order to create a sense of resolve. A sense that everything's okay, I'm back to my sense of self. What I know is safe, is comfortable, is me. So watch for these impulses. Masquerading as ourself. How could these things be ourself if they are something that we are aware of, similar to an eyeball, claiming that the things it sees on the counter is itself? How could anything on the counter be the eyeball? For the eyeball to truly find itself, it would actually have to stop looking for anything it found in its traditional way it would look would be to find something other than it. So is true for ourselves. Any of these impulses to get back to a sense of self we're familiar with would never be who we really are, but rather something else that we're aware of. In order to find ourself, we would actually have to stop looking, actually have to stop shuffling, actually have to stop trying to get anywhere. As it is in the looking, in the traditional way, that keeps us from the finding. Because if it was really ourself that we found, to even take one step would be to not find ourselves, to even shuffle one thing in any moment would be the overlooking of who we are. For if it was truly ourself, there would be no stepping away, no shuffling, no changes that would be needed. But again, notice these impulses that attempt to make sure no thought is unturned, no topic is unresolved, no fear is unthought. Can we reside in what the mind would call unresolved, unthought, unturned? Can we allow for things to be unthought, unturned, unresolved? What if this sense of self that we're always trying to get back to, that feels so personal, so much like us, so familiar, is actually not us at all? But only a collection of habits, conditioned patterning, if these aren't me, who am I? If this collection of impulses, habits, and conditioned patterns to get back to a sense of resolve, calmness, or even alertness isn't me. What is? Who am I? What's left? And when we ask what's left, we're not really looking for an answer, because that would be more of the same. Another impulse to push and pull things around until we get back to ourself. Ourself needs no impulse. It needs no reconfiguring. It needs no resolution. It needs nothing thought first. It needs no trauma corrected first. It needs no bad habits fixed first. For it itself has no want, no need. Or to say that slightly differently, you yourself has no want, no need. This is a self beyond all. A self beyond all distinctions. Beyond the possibility of a definition. The self that can only be experienced directly. much like a stain on a white cloth. Allow yourself to soak. Allow these impulses, habits, and conditioned patterns to slowly wash out of your identity. The only reason why they seem like they belong, because much like the stain on the white cloth, they've been there for so long. Now allow yourself to check in with these deeper parts of yourself. And see if there's any takeaway that would be helpful to make more conscious and to experiment with the days ahead. Or perhaps there's something the deeper part of yourself would like to offer. That would be most helpful moving forward. So let's give ourselves the space to check in and see what would be most helpful, what we most need to know, or what our takeaway is moving forward. And when we're ready, let's remember who we are and the wisdom gained from your own intuitive experience. And to bring our attention slowly back to that which we withdrew our attention from. Ourself and the world, whilst never forgetting who we truly are, even while our eyes are open. So when you're ready, and only when you're ready, feel free to take in a deep breath and open your